Du kommer inte
I ain't gonna lie. Smack him down right now.
upp här. Du kommer inte in i mitt hem. Du kommer inte in i mitt hem, Mohammed.
With his demeanor
Shove him, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I'm shoving him, and from that point on, it's between him and gravity and God. You know what I'm saying?
Racist against rappers, they all look the same to him. They used to beg him not to egg him on Halloween. He told him holler back with the suede Pumas, Dollar Green. Nah, I mean, heat it up till the temperature tarball. Y'all just gawk like gargoyle.
You know the drill. You know the drill. Nick Crowley drops. I have to stop and listen. YouTube's Darkest Videos 9. Alright, let's go, bro. I ain't gonna lie. So far, every time I've watched one of these videos, I've known at least one of the videos that was shown. And that kind of shows just how much of a no life I had for like a short period of time. Like, my life throughout high school was summers were spent just at the house, bro. At the house, just web surfing, man. So, let's go.
The following video is sponsored by Simply Safe. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Safe Life Repair, Safe Life Replace. The Wasco trade encounter.
On the morning of March 22nd, 2024, the Kern County Sheriff's Office was flooded with calls about an incident that had taken place near the Wasco Amtrak station in Wasco, California. The incident involved a pedestrian who was reportedly walking dangerously close to an active train track before being struck by an oncoming locomotive, a situation that authorities knew was likely unsurvivable. Police arrived at the scene shortly after 8 a.m. and were met with the bloody aftermath of the accident, as they found 48-year-old Horatio Ayala Penosa deceased on the tracks, with the force of the impact being so strong that his body was torn apart and scattered all throughout the area.
Oh my God, bro. Imagine being the first responders to see that, bro. That's why I could never do some shit like that, bro. Just give me one bad day. Somebody has anything bigger than a gash on their body, bro, I'm quitting.
First, it was believed to have been a clear-cut, but after interviewing some of the witnesses, police learned that the man had never stepped in front of the train, and rather, he had actually been sucked underneath as a result of walking too closely, painting a clearer picture that this was all a tragic accident. But as police were conducting these interviews, one strange detail kept coming up, as apparently, Horatio wasn't the only one on the tracks around the time of the incident, with there allegedly having been one other man standing nearby, a man who took off shortly after Horatio had been killed, and strangely, witnesses believe they saw the man reach down and pick something up before leaving. For the officers on the scene, finding this man became the next obvious order of business, but by this point, he had already found himself a few blocks away, where he was spotted by a group of construction workers. The group watched as the man walked towards them, appearing to hold some sort of large item in one of his hands, the same item that had been taken from the train tracks. And the closer he got, the clearer it became what exactly this thing was. It was a human leg.
What? I hope that nigga got the shit beat out of him. One of the construction workers at the scene reported this. I hope somebody beat the shit out of him.
For some inexplicable reason, when the train had dismembered Horatio, this man had run over and picked up his leg, and he was now waving that leg on the sidewalk of a nearby road, with the construction crew claiming that he had been banging it against the fence as he walked towards them, and at one point had even struck the leg against one of their machines. Upon the realization, a wave of fear washed over the group, as they were unsure what this man had done to get this leg, or what he would do next, though that was something that even the wildest of imaginations could have never predicted.
Yeah.
Is he in that?
Oh, nah, bro, what? Somebody shoot that man. I don't care if he's just mentally unwell, bro. You've gone past the point of no return, bro.
As the man looked down at the leg and began eating it, as the workers watched on in horror. Officers arrived on the scene.
I ain't gonna lie, you would never see me at that job site ever again. You would never see me at that job ever again.
Immediately,
I'm suing somebody for emotional damage.
After this, and when they asked the man what he was doing with the leg, he explained that it belonged to him, and that he was taking it to a nearby hospital to have it reattached. But it was obvious to everyone there that this man wasn't missing any of his legs, with the officers having to go as far as to prove it to him by making him roll up the sleeves of his pants and touch both of his legs. His explanation was completely nonsensical, and obviously didn't account for the fact that he was literally eating the leg just minutes before, leading to officers immediately placing him under arrest.
Yeah.
His name was Rosendo Tejas, a 27-year-old man who had been experiencing homelessness and had been living on a street near the train tracks, with police determining that he didn't
So he's either mental health or drugs destroyed his brain.
in fact have nothing to do with the actual death of Horatio. He just so happened to be near the tracks at the time, where he would first witness the accident, and then for some unknown reason, take Horatio's leg and start eating it.
What the fuck?
It appears as though this was the result of a combination of both drugs and alcohol, as he was found carrying narcotics when he was taken into custody, and he
Called it.
had just been captured by security cameras purchasing alcohol at a nearby liquor store just hours before the incident. But what's so interesting about this footage is just how normal Rosendo seems. In fact, the people working
No, you could tell he was tweaking a little bit. The way he handed off and he started
security
rubbing his
cameras
hands.
purchasing alcohol at a nearby liquor store just hours
Yeah, you could tell that boy was tweaking. As soon as he did that, nah, that's a tweaker move, bro.
before the incident.
That's a certified tweaker move.
But what's so interesting about this footage is just how normal Rosendo seems. In fact, the people working there knew him quite well, as he stopped in almost daily, where he was described as being polite and ordinary, including on the day of that incident. In fact, it said that at first the shop owners didn't believe that Rosendo could have possibly done this, but it seems that whatever substances he had taken that day
Got the better
had
of him.
changed him. Rosendo Tejas was charged with 2 counts of removal of human remains, and 1 count of destroying or concealing evidence, as well as resisting a police officer, and was sentenced to 1 year in prison after pleading no contest,
Just
bringing
1
this
year?
absurd case to an end. However, his unsettling behavior will forever live on in one of YouTube's darkest videos.
1 year.
Fun of Halloween should not include mischief.
That's the creepiest part. He got 1 year for eating somebody's dismembered leg. It's crazy, bro. Watched. Uh-oh. Here we go.
It was just past 10 p.m. Safely tucked away in her second-story apartment,
Hell no,
20-year-old
bro.
Hannah
I feel like I already know what's about to happen. We about to see a frame where we can see somebody standing outside watching her do all these whatever. She's doing her hyper yoga or whatever.
Vivaretti set up her phone to record a video
God,
of herself
bro.
dancing. For her,
Watch
this
that
was a
window.
meditative practice, a way of unwinding after a long, stressful day,
Watch
and to
that
truly
window.
feel at peace. But that day, fate had other plans.
Was that her saying
As
that?
Hannah was dancing, something off camera caused her to stop dead in her tracks and yell, "Who are you?" It was a man whom
That was her yelling that? She's so strong as hell.
Hannah had never seen before, standing in the doorway of her balcony, which again was on
What?
the second floor,
Oh, hell. Oh, nah, bro.
meaning that man had climbed up, cracked open the door, and was now standing in her home staring at her,
What the fuck?
quietly muttering nonsensically with a big grin on his face.
Dude, Spartan kick his ass off that balcony.
Who are you? Who are you? Please get off.
Hannah stopped the music and again asked, "Who are you?" To which the man responded by saying,
Please get out.
Your friend?
No, please get out. Yes.
but her demeanor and the panic in her voice made it all too clear that this
Okay, this is no laughing matter, bro. This nigga needs to really get sent flying off that balcony.
was far from the case.
Who are you? Please get out of my apartment right now.
She
Show
started to
us.
make her way over to her phone and then towards the front door. All the while, the man kept calmly insisting that they be friends, but Hannah was having none of it.
Please get out of my apartment right now.
Opening her front door and, in the process,
Get out. Get out.
pointing the camera directly at the intruder, giving us our
Hell
first
no, bro.
and only glimpse of the man, as he's standing still in the balcony doorway. And with her front door now open,
Nobody saw him climbing up to the balcony? Like, he was just able to do that unimpeded.
she yelled at him to get out, loud enough for the neighbors to hear.
Get out.
Which finally caused the man to retreat.
Pussy.
As it turns out, Hannah did actually know who this man was, at least vaguely, as he lived in the same apartment complex, but he never actually spoke to her. He would always just stare and smile. making it apparent that he had some sort of sick interest in her.
Oh, hell no, bro.
As for why he entered her home that night, it's fairly obvious that his intentions were incredibly sinister.
Yeah.
With Hannah recalling that during the entire experience, his hands never left his hoodie pocket, making
He probably saw that he was being recorded and realized that the jig was up.
her wonder if he was holding onto some sort of weapon that he may have been planning to use on her. But thankfully, because of her swift reaction, we'll never truly know what he had planned that night.
What happened?
Days after the incident, police
Okay.
would arrest 36-year-old Angel Moses Rodriguez Gomez.
Yeah, that nigga just looks like he don't get no ads, don't get no text backs, don't get no callbacks. Shit, bro.
And charge him with stalking, second-degree assault, third and fourth-degree burglary,
Yeah.
and malicious
How the
destruction
hell you get third and fourth degree burglary? What? What? I didn't even know burglary came in that many degrees.
of property. But surprisingly, shortly after his arrest, they allowed him to walk free on bail. And given that he lived in the same apartment
What?
complex as Hannah, and
What?
clearly knew where she lived, this decision was incredibly controversial, with Hannah herself stating
Incredibly stupid.
in an interview that, "I just don't think it's fair that he's walking freely right now, and I have to watch my back at every angle." Thankfully, the court's decision would not lead to any further escalations in the case, and today Angel no longer lives in the country, but the footage is incredibly chilling nonetheless, and it sent me down a rabbit hole of home invasion videos
Am I your friend?
late the other night. And here on YouTube, I came across countless unsettling examples.
Home invasion videos? I'm not gonna lie, that's gonna make me have trouble sleeping tonight if I watched a bunch of home invasion movies or videos, bro. Like real.
One such example comes from Saratov, Russia, and shows a woman moments after being awoken by the sound of knocking as she lay in bed in her apartment. It was around 4:30 a.m., which was already unusual enough, but things became downright horrifying for her when she realized that the knocking wasn't coming from the door, it was coming from the window.
I don't think I've ever thought to look up home invasion videos on YouTube. I've never thought that. Is he banging his head? Oh, no. No. Nah. No. No, bro. No. No. Somebody would have to get shot. The way he's looking, hell no, bro. Hell no. Because I was like, that's too big for a hand. He was just banging his head on the window.
Outside of her
That.
window was a man, banging his head against the glass over and over again. And equally as disturbing, this woman's unit wasn't on the first floor. She was 2 stories up,
What?
and she didn't have a balcony. Across the street, a neighbor filmed the incident as it happened, showing us that the man was standing on one of the building's gas
Oh, yeah, just the. Just. Reject.
pipes, while he continued to strike the window. Eventually, these hits grew so forceful that the glass started to break, and his head began bleeding profusely,
Jesus.
finally leading to the man stopping, but not in the pursuit of entering the home.
Еще.
У него пена изо рта уже.
Слушай, это у дурачка пена изо рта, у него бешенство или что?
Oh, fuck no, bro. This is just making me a gun activist, bro. No way.
Ну, бля, попей мочи, иди отсюда уже.
As he instead climbed to a different window where he attempted to peel it open with his fingers. But by this point, police had already arrived on the scene, and eventually the man would be forced down and placed under arrest. When looking for an explanation as to why this man was doing this, it appears that he was under the influence of bath salts during the ordeal.
Oh, yeah, no, she would have been cooked if she would have opened that window. The Miami bath salt incident? Nah, bro. She would have been done if she opened that window.
But aside from this, I couldn't find any other information about the man's identity, or whatever became of him. But I was able to find that this clip doesn't tell the entire story, as the woman behind the camera actually spoke to a local reporter and provided additional context to the ordeal, which only made the story more terrifying. At first, he knocked with his hands. Then he began to peck at me at the window with his head for an hour and a half without stopping.
What?
After that, he started shouting my name to the whole yard. He was foaming at the mouth. His whole face was covered in blood, and he shouted that he wanted to talk to me. and he needed me. With the most terrifying part of the statement being that she had no idea who this man was, or how he could have even known her name.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The idea of both of these intruder videos featuring people whom the victims had never even spoken to makes them especially unsettling, as it shows that you really never know who's watching and who might be obsessing over you.
Yeah,
but incidents like
that means he must have been stalking her beforehand.
This can be equally as chilling when the intruder is someone that you do know.
Oh yeah, no.
Mohammed Amana was a 26-year-old man living in Orrefors, Sweden, and had been dating a woman named Maria. But after several run-ins with the law, Mohammed's lifestyle just became too much for her, and she eventually decided to end the relationship. This caused Mohammed—
This sounds very familiar. I might have seen this.
—to become enraged, an emotion that was only further heightened when he discovered that she was staying with a male friend of theirs. And on the 25th of May, he would show up at his doorstep and ask to speak to Maria. Inside, the male friend and Maria both refused to let him in and told him to leave, and for a moment he did, though only temporarily, as he would return minutes later, this time armed with a ladder. And noticing what he was trying to do, the homeowner began recording on his cell phone.
En stege. Okay.
Vad gör du, Mohammed? Vad gör du?
Boy, just shove him down.
The man behind the camera asks, "What are you doing? Are you going to fight me?" To which Mohammed said no, he just wanted to speak to Maria.
Tror du kommer upp här? Tror du kommer upp här?
As he said this, his demeanor was unsettlingly calm as
he
continues making his way up the ladder.
Mohammed, du kommer inte...
I ain't gonna lie. Smack him down right now.
Upp här. Du kommer inte in i mitt hem. Du kommer inte in i mitt hem, Mohammed.
With his demeanor...
Shove him, bro. No, you don't calmly do that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm shoving him, and from that point on, it's between him and gravity and God. You know what I'm saying?
Being so calm that the cameraman couldn't tell if Mohammed was a threat or not. Though it wouldn't...
I ain't gonna lie, no, bro. If that man came back and tried to sneak into your crib with a ladder, bro, he is a S-tier threat.
Take long for him to get his answer.
Du kommer inte in i mitt hem. Därför han högg mig med en kniv.
Did he get stabbed? Shot?
In an instant, Mohammed struck the cameraman, causing him to retreat into his room, closing the sliding glass door just in time for Mohammed to step on the balcony and brandish a large kitchen knife.
En stor köttkniv. Såg ni det? Han krossar glaset med en sten.
You are a dumbass, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Muhammad would have been toothpaste on that pavement.
Still dazed by the attack, the man holding the camera retreated even further into the house, while Maria had already run into the bathroom and locked the door behind her, a door that Mohammed would quickly rush over to.
Släpp in mig på dassen, han kommer in. Han kommer in, Maria. Mohammed, hugg du. Mohammed, du högg mig redan.
And desperately tried to open, even trying to use his knife to turn the lock, as that lock was the only thing standing in the way of what he was there to do.
What the hell?
What exactly that was is unknown, as police would
What you mean unknown?
Manage to arrive on the...
What you mean, Nick? Come on, bro. The dude climbed up the backside with a ladder and a kitchen knife. And you said it was unknown what he was intending to do?
See within minutes of this footage being taken, where they would arrest Mohammed before he was able to get to Maria. But it's clear based on the fact that he had a weapon on him and his desperate attempt to breach the house that he didn't just want to have a conversation. In the end, the man filming was left with only minor cuts. Mohammed was sentenced to 2 years in prison as well as a 10-year ban from the country of Sweden, leaving us with 3 haunting videos of 3 disturbed intruders, whose true intentions will thankfully never be known.
I ain't gonna lie, he should have knocked Muhammad right off that ladder.
It's the spookiest time of the year, a time when the consumption of horror movies and dark YouTube videos reaches its peak. But while fun in the moment, the true terror of consuming this content often occurs long after the credits roll, when you close your eyes to go to sleep, only to feel the sickening feeling of paranoia, every creak in your home sending a jolt of panic throughout your body, making you—
We watch the ads, buddies, we watch the ads.
You wonder if someone or something is inside your house. I was just like you once. Consuming creepy content is my livelihood, and as a result, I've spent countless sleepless nights feeling uneasy within my own home, never quite feeling safe and secure, always wondering if something was lurking around me, until I realized that the reason I didn't feel secure was because I wasn't. The only thing standing between me and the outside world was a simple lock. And I knew it was time for a change, with that change finally coming when I partnered with this video sponsor, SimpliSafe. SimpliSafe is a home security system that you can control right from your phone. The SimpliSafe app allows you to arm and disarm the system, as well as view your live camera feeds anytime in any place. When I'm panicking in bed, I can just check the footage and be reassured that no one else is around. And when I'm away, I can check to make sure my belongings and, way more importantly, my dog are safe. But SimpliSafe isn't just your run-of-the-mill security system. They utilize something called ActiveGuard Outdoor Protection, which uses AI technology to identify threats outside of your home. So if someone is in the area acting suspiciously, it will send an alert to a monitoring agent, who can then trigger the alarms, send out an urgent police dispatch, or even talk to the persons or persons in real time. And all this is happening before a break-in even occurs. Whereas with old school systems, by the time the alarm goes off, your home has already been breached. It's peace of mind in the place where we should all feel most at peace, which means the terror can end when the credits roll. And if you want to feel that same peace of mind, you can save 50% off your very own SimpliSafe security system by signing up for their professional monitoring plan. Visit simplisafe.com/Nick Crowley to customize yours. And there's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Safe Life Repair, Safe Life Replace. Video blog number 1, the story of Noah Harpham.
Alright, hey folks, this is Noah, getting my blog live. Trucks and trucks and lots of trucks.
This is the very first footage that Noah Harpham would post to YouTube. After years of having a channel, Noah finally decided to give uploading a try, posting this inaugural video to a self-titled channel on October 29th, 2015, titling it 102915, video blog number 1, and introducing himself to the platform with a simple "Hello world" in the description.
No, but I did want to dissect just the beginning of a sermon given by a Pastor Bill, a guy that my dad has been following, taking ideas from for 10 years at least. He and his family, 2 kids.
In the video, Harpham paces throughout his home and discusses a priest named Pastor Bill, whom he believed was influencing his father and his family, and clearly not in a good way.
I've been ignorant of it for a long time, so I wanted to look at it, and I challenged him just to look at 15 minutes of this sermon.
Though he gives no context as to who this pastor is, only mentioning that he had been ignorant of the situation for a while, and that this video was his response after trying to expose the truth to his father.
Been waiting, and haven't heard anything, so I was going to just post my reply, and I guess that's how I'll start my blog.
Again, what this truth is unclear, as the lack of information makes this video a confusing watch.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what is that song he listens to in that background. That shit sounds like knives and chalkboards.
And ultimately, it tells us very little about who Noah was, let alone the other people he was discussing. But he did end the clip by making it clear that this was only the beginning of what would be a reoccurring blog series that would showcase just him, his thoughts, and his camera.
The blog is just going to be me with a video camera, and that'll be it. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
But before those uploads would come, Noah had pinned a website in his description that directed users to a blog post written by him that same day, titled, "Is My Dad in a Cult? Even worse, is it satanic?"
What?
Throughout the writing, Harpham loosely provides additional context for his video, as he breaks down a sermon given by Pastor Bill, who is shown to be Bill Johnson, a well-known preacher from the Bethel Church in Redding, California, who had garnered a large following online. And despite the sermon being over an hour long, Harpham goes through it point by point, critiquing everything that he said. And the more he typed, the more angry he got. And the more angry he got, the more nonsensical his words became. I'm attempting to present it in the more angry...
Vegetables have an excuse. He hates you at this point, though mostly because you're begging for it anyway, like spineless vegetables that refuse to admit they have any power to come up to their own understanding. Vegetables have an excuse. You are cowards. What?
He got, the more nonsensical his words became.
Okay.
I'm attempting to present a case that shows the leader of this prestigious institution, along with a select group of rulers, are using mind control techniques to poison and confuse legions of useful idiots that slave away to keep the institution humming along, and that this man, Pastor Bill Johnson, and his ruling caste are using mind control to keep people imbalanced and ignorant, in a state of perpetual waiting for the material world to be defied, while they themselves are profiting immensely in this material world.
To a degree, he's not wrong. There are a lot of pastors who absolutely abuse the money that people are willing to give to the church. There's to a degree he ain't lying. To a degree he's kind of cooking, but it sounds like he might be cooking with like, I don't know, he might be cooking with some andesite or something.
The blog gives us a peek behind the curtain of the man shown in this video, a man who seems to be clearly mentally unwell, paranoid, and very angry, with the post making it clear that the purpose of Noah's content was to bring this pastor down, and video blog number 1 was supposed to be just the start. However, there would never be a video blog number 2, as just 2 days after posting this video, Noah's life would take a drastic turn.
Colorado Springs 911, what's the exact location of your emergency?
It's at,
Repeat that one more time for me and make sure I had it correct.
well, it's across the street from me. I'm calling from my address.
Tell me exactly what happened.
Well, there was a guy walking around with like 2 cans of gasoline or something, 2 small cans, and a big, like a rifle. It was black, and it had a strap around it. He's walking up to doors and stuff.
What?
At 8:35 a.m. on Halloween morning, a woman named Naomi
8 in the morning?
Bettis called 911 after witnessing a suspicious man walking around her neighborhood in Colorado Springs, as she watched him carrying several cans of gas, as well as an AR-15 that was
How the hell did he get an AR?
hung over his shoulder. She didn't know it at the time, but this man was her neighbor, Noah Harpham.
And then I seen that he walked into the building, and the glass window at that business is broke.
And that's a business? What's the name of the business?
I have no idea, but I just know I don't know if it's a fake gun, BB gun, but it looks pretty scary.
As the call progresses, Naomi explains that she had watched him enter a nearby business, where one of the windows appeared to have been broken. She wasn't sure if anything illegal had happened at this point, but she was convinced that Noah was up to something sinister, which based on what he had in his possession seemed to be the only logical conclusion.
For real?
However, this concern wasn't felt by everyone.
Okay. And you said it looked like a long gun, correct? Like a rifle?
Yes,
Don't tell me the 911 operator's finna be stupid.
Well, it is an open carry state, so he can have a weapon with him.
Oh my God. This is why I feel like you need to go to school to be a 911 operator, bro. Not anybody can just be no damn 911 operator. Are you losing your mind? If it was just a case of him just open carrying, she wouldn't felt the need to have called 911. Are you...
Them are walking around with it, but of course having those gas cans, it does seem pretty suspicious, so we're going to keep the call going for that.
Okay, and the window's broken to that business downstairs, so...
Right, and you said he's now upstairs, correct?
Yes,
And are you or anyone else in immediate danger?
No.
Okay.
As the operator seemingly brushed aside the incident, stating that she was only keeping the call going because the gas cans could be suspicious. However, even with that, the report still wasn't taken seriously, as the dispatcher hung up on her shortly after, before dispatching one single officer to the scene, an officer that never even made it there, as just moments later he was called off and sent to what was deemed to be a more pressing scene.
Are we so dead? It never ceases to amaze me how terrible some 911 operators are at their job. I know we're operating from hindsight, but you should take every call seriously. That's literally your job.
At the local senior center,
Oh my God, bro.
Naomi's concerns were completely ignored, but despite this, she continued to watch out her window, waiting to see what Noah would do next. 4 minutes after her call with police ended, and 10 minutes after first reporting Noah's
If
behavior,
Naomi gets hurt, she better sue them for every dime in their pockets.
Naomi would dial 911 once again, only this time, her demeanor was far different.
I just called a few minutes ago, and the guy came back out, and he fired a gun at somebody, and he's laying on the street dead. Oh my God. You sent an ambulance too.
Yeah, that 911 operator needs to be fired and put into jail, bro.
Naomi's worst fears had come true,
What are we
as she
talking
frantically
about?
told dispatch that the man carrying the gun had just shot and killed someone outside of her home.
Oh my God.
Okay, calm down, okay? Stay with me. I'm just putting that into the call. Is anyone in immediate danger?
What? What are we talking? He just caught a body on the street. Everybody. Yo, he just laid out somebody on the street and you're asking, is there anybody else in danger? I'm like... Alright, I'm over it.
No, that I can see or think. No.
In response, the operator bizarrely asks if anyone else is in danger.
That's what I'm saying.
But Naomi, likely in a state of shock, answers no, before immediately realizing that Noah was heading in the direction of Platt Avenue, which was known to be a busier neighborhood.
Maybe on Platt Avenue there might be people in danger.
Fucking, yo, 911 operators be pissing me off, bro.
I need the suspect's description. Do you know his name?
No, I don't.
Okay, is he white, black, Hispanic, Asian?
He's white, and he's got long curly hair coming out of his cap.
She desperately tried to relay that more people were likely in harm's way, only to be immediately proven right just seconds later.
I think, yeah, there's people outside that might be in danger up on Platt. Okay. Oh, I just heard another fire. Oh my God.
When she hears more gunshots, prompting the operator to once again ask,
yeah, they need to call an ambulance or something right away.
Okay. Is anyone in immediate danger?
Oh my God. Both of these 911 operators need to at least do 5 years, bro. Minimum. Because there's no way you can be this stupid and you're supposed to... Yo.
Only people up on Platt, maybe.
I would have been like, what the fuck are you... I would have get people down here. Quit asking me these stupid questions.
All right, I am sending the paramedics to help you now. Stay on the line and I'll tell you exactly what to do next, okay?
What is she supposed to do? What is Naomi supposed to do against an active shooter that you need to instruct her on to do? Okay, other than just stay in her house. Like, what are we talking about? What is she supposed to do? She's not Wonder Woman.
It was only then that the operator would tell Naomi that police and medical personnel were finally being dispatched to the scene, but by this point, it was far too late. In the moments after Naomi had made her first 911 call, Noah
I need both of those operators to be fired and publicly scrutinized.
Harpham would first attempt to light his house on fire using the 2 cans of gasoline, though this, however, failed and caused him to quickly shift his focus. Noah instead stepped outside and brandished his rifle, immediately pointing it directly at Andrew Mayers, who had been riding his bike in the neighborhood. And after seeing the gun, the man stopped and begged him not to shoot, to which Noah responded by pulling the trigger multiple times, killing him instantly, with Andrew Myers being the man that Naomi had seen laying dead on the street. From there, Noah began walking up the street where he would eventually see 2 women sitting on the porch of a sobriety center, where local women went to get help with their drug and alcohol addictions, and upon noticing them, he immediately started shooting, striking and killing both Christina Galella and Jennifer Vasquez.
That's crazy.
Noah walked for over a mile after this before the police finally caught up with him, and when they called out for him to stop walking, Noah turned and immediately opened fire, leading to a massive shootout.
Yeah. I bet it got taken seriously now.
When the smoke cleared, the only one struck had been Noah, who was lying dead on the pavement, marking the end of his killing spree. The investigation that followed revealed that Noah had never even met any of the 3 people he killed that day. They were all total strangers, leaving the question, why had he done it? Well, even today...
That's not the question. The question that I have right now is why did those 911 operators get fired and how much time are they serving?
Still no clear motive, with this appearing to be a completely random and senseless act. But looking at his final and only posts online, Noah was clearly very angry and seemed to be mentally unwell, which was corroborated by testimony from his parents, as they later claimed that he had anger issues and suffered from drug addiction and bipolar disorder. But what's so unusual about this to me was that this video was published just 2 days before the killings, and it was clearly not meant to be a one-off post. It was something that he seemed genuinely excited to continue, yet not even 48 hours later, he resorted to this. What happened in that time frame may never be known, but the effects of it will last forever. And I can't help but wonder how differently this all could have gone if that initial 911 operator had just taken Naomi's report seriously.
Nick, bro, please don't blue ball me, bro. I need to know if they got fired or not.
Noah's spree didn't start for a full 10 minutes after she started that call, which would have been more than enough time for police to intervene. But instead, Noah was given all the time he needed to end 3 innocent lives.
I might have to look that up myself, bro. I need to know that those 911 operators got fired. There's no way they continued working after flubbing it that bad. There's an argument for the first one, but the second one, there's no excuse for being that trash at your job. The Diogar ropeway incident.
It wasn't an attraction for the faint of heart. Standing over 13...
Yeah, I don't even need to see. You just had to show me 3 frames and I could already tell you what's about to happen.
1,500 feet above the ground, the Diogar ropeway was built to take tourists up and down the Trikut mountain in Jharkhand, India. It was the tallest cableway in the entire country, offering an unparalleled view of Diogar and the picturesque landscape around it. Because of this, videos have long since been posted on YouTube showing just how dramatic of a ride this truly is, with one such video being recorded on April 10th, 2022.
That thing looked like it's held up by duct tape and paperweights. Hell no. It was like they just put the cable wires on top of some electric towers and called it a day. No way, bro.
That day, a woman and her family had been filming their adventure to the Trikut mountain, and were now filming a first-person view of the descent back down.
Listen to that. Nah, I would have jumped off. I would have jumped off as soon as I heard that rattling.
It wasn't the kind of place for anyone with a fear of heights, and the loud sounds of the car passing the support towers only added to the anxiety of the trip.
That's what I'm saying. Yo, Nick read me like a book, bro.
But the group filming this all remained relatively calm, quietly conversing to themselves, seemingly unfazed by the spectacular height.
Fuck no. Now, when this cable cart falls, I wonder how these niggas is finna feel. They're gonna be like, wow. You know what I'm saying?
Even enjoying it. A feeling that wouldn't last.
Yeah. No, I'm staying on the ground for the rest of my life.
Without any warning, the car was met with a massive force, sending the occupants and the camera to the floor, causing the footage to go dark. In that moment, one of the ropeway's axles had dislodged, causing a failure on the pulley system, which resulted in 2 carts crashing into each other, and the rest coming to a sudden and violent halt.
2 carts crashing into each other? How fast was it going?
The impact was brutal, but somewhat surprisingly, the footage continued. Showing just enough to reveal that the ropeway and the cabin these people were in were both still intact, before the recording came to an end. This group had survived the impact.
No way.
But the nightmare was far from over.
Yeah, I was about to say there's no way.
News of the collision quickly spread throughout the region, leading to the scene being flooded with rescuers and news crews alike, with everyone trying to figure out what exactly was happening, and the initial prognosis was grim. In the impact, 1 man in a separate car had been killed, and many others were left injured, and making
How? Those carts were going at like 2 miles an hour. How fast was the other cart going?
Matters worse, due to the broken axle, the ropeway was now no longer operational, meaning that the 70+ people spread throughout the various cars were now stuck, some of whom were still suspended over 1,000 feet in the air.
Jesus.
It was going to be an incredibly difficult rescue operation, just given the height of the ropeway alone. And ultimately, it was determined that the Indian Air Force would utilize their special top-of-the-line helicopters to fly over the cars and lower
I smell a bad lawsuit.
down ropes with harnesses attached to them for survivors, who then would strap themselves in and be hoisted up to the helicopter above using an electronic winch. It took hours for them to even make their first attempt, before finally trying their approach on a middle-aged man, who slid on his rescue strap and was then slowly pulled up towards safety.
Fuck no. Look at how he's swinging. No way.
The footage of this is horrifying. These people were already over 1,000 feet in the air when their cars got stuck, and now they were being lifted even higher, tethered only by a single rope and a safety harness. Worst of all, it was a particularly windy day, which was made worse by the swirling of the helicopter blades, a combination that caused the man to start swinging wildly from side to
No way, bro.
side as he hung onto the rope for dear life.
If he falls, bro. Dude. Oh my God. Somebody yank him up.
It was a grueling journey up, but finally the man reached the aircraft, and with safety just a few feet away, he instinctively reached his arms above his head in an attempt to grab onto the
And he slid out the harness.
helicopter, a decision that would have disastrous effects. As he did so, his harness slid upwards and was pulled over his shoulders, and then over his arms, before eventually landing in his hands, meaning the only thing left holding him up was his own grip, as he clung to the now useless harness.
And there's nobody there to like grab him and pull him in.
For a full minute he dangled there, just inches away from rescue.
A full minute? Was nobody on board to pull him in? Nobody? Dude.
Meanwhile, the rescue crew searched the craft for something they could use to safely hoist him in, but before they got the chance, the man slipped out of his harness, momentarily catching himself on the side of the helicopter itself. But by this point, his strength was gone.
Dude,
and seconds later,
that's wrong. Somebody could have grabbed him. You didn't have to find something to hoist him in. Somebody could have. Oh my God.
his grip would fail for good.
Oh my God.
Causing him to plummet approximately 2,000 feet to the ground below.
Dude.
Killing him instantly. For those waiting to be rescued, the sight was especially horrific.
Yeah, no, bro. I probably would have just jumped out the cart at that point and been like, bro, I'm about to die anyway. These niggas don't know what they doing.
As they watched the man who they thought had made it to safety fall to the ground right in front of them. The fear they must have felt knowing that soon it would be their turn is unimaginable. After this, the rescue crews began making tweaks to their operation, which started to lead to a few attempts going off without a hitch. But the entire process was incredibly slow, as a full 24 hours would pass before 60-year-old Shubha Devi would finally get her chance to be removed from the car.
Jesus.
And as she started her ascent up to the helicopter,
No,
the
not
wind also
another
caused her
one.
to start swinging wildly. So wildly, in fact, that the winch used to lift her suddenly stopped working, leaving her hanging there, only moving side to side rather than up towards safety. As she hung there, rescuers on the helicopter frantically tried to figure out what the problem with the winch was. But before they could ever get their answer, the rope suddenly snapped, causing her to free fall to the ground below. It came without any sort of warning, and from what I can find online, there isn't a definitive answer as to how this happened.
Of course there's not going to be a definitive answer. They're going to try to bury this.
But either way, it resulted in Shubha's tragic death. It took a total of 48 hours for the last of the survivors to be rescued and finally brought to safety, an unimaginable amount of time in an unimaginable position, with survivors having to watch two people fall to their deaths before them, unsure if they too were going to meet the same fate.
Dude. Sue everybody.
Since its release, the footage has sparked some debate online, as the media actually hailed this as an impressive and even successful rescue operation.
By who?
For the Indian Air Force. While others have hit back on this, as both incidents seem to have been entirely preventable, with more people dying from the rescue than the accident itself. Though ultimately, there were no repercussions for the rescue crew.
It would have been better if you just put out a big safety net underneath them. Shit.
With the only punishments being dished out to the operating company DRIL, which was accused of not properly maintaining the ropeway and not following proper safety protocols.
I mean, yeah, you're right, but at the same time, bro, like...
It was even alleged that when the initial crash happened, the people operating the ropeway at the time actually fled the scene and never even called authorities. But I'm not sure if this was ever actually proven.
Yeah.
DRIL
niggas is yapping, bro.
Was fined
trying
over
to get the attention off of the fact that they caught two bodies. The people supposed to save your life caught two bodies.
$1
How you
million
feeling?
and has since been blacklisted from operating ropeways for 5 years, while the families of the
5 years.
the deceased were given around $33,000 in compensation.
33,000.
Currently, there are plans to repair and reopen the ropeway,
You done lost your mind.
though at this point, no official date has been given for the reopening.
You done lost your mind. You better reopen it as a damn graveyard. No way, bro. Yo, once again, Nick Crowley has managed to piss me off with these videos, not by any fault of his own, by showing me people who genuinely just don't know what they're doing or know how to think in 3 dimensions. Like, this is crazy, bro. Those dispatchers blew my mind sky high, bro. And it's not the first either. Like, the amount of 911 dispatchers that have indirectly caused the situation to get worse is the fact that it's greater than 1 that I have personally seen. You know what I mean? Like, if you watch true crime at all, you know exactly what I say when there is a lot of dispatchers who don't know what the fuck they're doing at all. These niggas must have just graduated high school getting these jobs. Okay, bro. Alright, good video by Nick Crowley. You know, like I said, no fault of Nick Crowley's, but that video just blew me, bro. Not even in a good way, neither.